This video explains what the interface DNS settings mean and show you how to configure custom DNS servers on a router running the DAL operating system. I'm using an IX10, but the process is the same for any other DAL router. When a WAN interface connects, it will usually be assigned DNS servers within the service provider's network. In simple networks, this is fine, but you may want more control over which DNS servers are used. The first DNS settings you need to look at are within the Network Interfaces menu, and then for each WAN interface that you have configured. So on this router, I will first go into the modem configuration, and you have this option here that says Use DNS, and the default is set to When Primary Default Route. And there are two other options in the drop-down. There's Always and Never. The interface setting here, Use DNS, tells the router OS whether or not to add the automatically assigned DNS servers to its list of DNS servers that will be used for DNS queries. The option Always means the router will always attempt to query those DNS server IP addresses, regardless of whether or not this interface is currently in use as the primary default route. Never means that automatically assigned DNS servers will not be used. This might sound bad, but for full control, this is going to be our preferred option. The option When Primary Default Route means that the DNS servers assigned to this interface will only be used when this interface is the active default route. Otherwise, the assigned DNS servers will not be queried. So let's move on now and look at Services DNS. This is a way of specifying your own preferred DNS servers that the router should use to perform DNS lookups. These manually added DNS servers are added to the list of DNS servers that the router will use to do DNS lookups. I tend to use Open DNS servers and will configure those here. If you set the interface setting to Always and also have DNS servers configured here, the router creates a combined list of DNS servers and can query them all. If you set the interface setting to When Primary Default Route and have DNS servers manually set here, and this interface is the active default route, then the router creates a combined list of DNS servers and will query them all. If, however, that interface is not the primary default route, and the router has another default route available, then this interface's DNS servers will not be queried. With the interface option set to Never and the DNS servers set here, I can be sure that DNS queries will only go to these DNS servers regardless of which interface is up. I can also ensure that DNS lookups for our Digi.com domain only go to our own DNS server, rather than the public DNS servers that probably won't know about our internal servers. To do that, I configure a third DNS server with the label Digi domain, add in the internal DNS server IP address, and the domain name that this server will answer queries for. So in this example, if I was to look up intranet.digi.com, that would be queried through the server 10.10.10.1. The option you certainly want enabled here for fast DNS lookups is Query All Servers. This ensures that all DNS servers in the list are sent the query and the first positive response will be sent back to the client. Timeouts will be ignored unless all DNS servers time out. You can also add hostnames that you want this router to serve from a local list rather than an upstream DNS server. This is useful if that hostname is internal and not known by a public DNS server. For more information on this or any other feature of your Digi router, please see the documentation pages at digi.com/support.